Hello everybody! Welcome, welcome, welcome. So as you're tuning in, as you're getting the notification that I am live in the Empowered Midlife Mastery Collective, as you're tuning in, say hello. If you are clicking on the button to watch this video on the replay, just go ahead and type in replay on the comments so I can know that you're watching. There's Brandy. What's up, friends? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope you guys are having a great Wednesday evening. I am here in my basement. What's up, Debbie? See some of you popping in. As you're popping in live, send me a comment, just give me a wave, say hello now that I know you're here. Brandy took my spin class. Debbie, I miss you in my spin classes. Hey, Lisa. What's up, Casey? Casey, I'm so happy that you've been so supportive of this group. I appreciate you spreading the word. What's up, Brittany? Brittany, how was your class? I saw you get ready to start your class when I left the gym. What's up, Lisa? So as you're tuning in, as you're popping on, what's up, Nadine? I'm so excited that you guys are here. I just want to reiterate the reason why I started this group was really because I felt unfulfilled with some areas in my profession. What's up, Mel? And I really wanted to have this group of women that we could lean on for support and also just have an opportunity to educate on nutrition and fitness, the things that I love, the things that are my passion, that I can continue to spread awareness on lots of things. So I'm super excited that you're joining. As you're tuning in again, just pop into a comment, say hello to everybody else. And again, just want to encourage you guys to continue to interact on the page. Post things that you're curious about, even if it's something that you don't want to admit. Post it anonymously, which is really cool that Facebook is allowing us to do that you can post anonymously. That's super cool. So if there's something maybe sensitive that you don't want everybody to know, but you still want answers, it's a really great opportunity to do that. What's up, Barb? So let's get into the topic for today. So this is our third installment of live discussions. We've already had 2 discussions. If you haven't watched those, go ahead and go watch those at some point. We talked about finding a calorie deficit, talking about how your calories impact weight loss, and establishing that not everybody needs to lose weight, but also if you do have a weight loss goal, that is calorie deficit is the way to go, and of course doing it safely. What's up, Nancy? How was class tonight? And then we also talked about protein. So I was in my kitchen the last time and we talked about protein. So if you haven't watched that one will give you some good insights and tips on how to prioritize protein. Because let's face it, most people don't get enough protein. And if you are, it's probably because you're making a concerted effort to actually do it. Because I was talking to a member in class tonight, I taught a spin class tonight, and she was like, yeah, Julie, I don't eat a lot of protein. And I was like, well, no crap, it's not convenient. So like, you're not gonna snack on chicken breasts. You're gonna snack on a protein bar, or you're gonna snack on chips, or you're gonna snack on the readily available carbohydrates, as opposed to like chicken. So we talked about that over there. So today we're gonna talk about exercise, which is one of my favorite topics to talk about. And as I showed you before, I have a wonderful at-home gym that I absolutely love. And here's another good reason why I have an at-home gym, because I told my spin class this, and I'll tell you guys this because I think it's pretty funny. I was at the gym tonight, and some dude tried to pick me up. He tried to ask me on a date, and he was like, why won't you let me take you out? And I was like, because I'm married. Oh, I didn't realize you were married. Creeper. I don't get creepers in my basement gym. Let me show you again. Here's my basement gym. So if you're in St. Louis and you want to come get a workout in with me, you are welcome to come. Oops. Come back. Okay. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about exercise and how it influences our results. So the biggest thing when it comes to exercise in midlife, we talk about reasons why we exercise. And so a lot of us, I know a lot of you from the exercise world, so a lot of you are currently already doing a lot of exercise. I want you to throw it in the comments. Tell me why you exercise. Why do you go to the gym? Why do you take a class? Why do you, Sally, you want to join me on video? That's my mother-in-law. Yeah, I knew you love my gym, not the creeper. So put it in the comments. Tell me why you exercise. And in the meantime, because I know there's a little bit of lag, I'm going to tell you why I do it. Makes you feel good, Brandy. Makes me feel great. It is both mentally and physically rejuvenating. It makes me feel really good. It makes me feel like I've accomplished something. It is a challenge, and it's also therapy. It is also showing my kids what healthy relationship to exercise is. It's all of those things. Relieving stress, Brittany says. Why do you exercise? Stress relief, mental health, just feels good, right, Casey? Like all of those feelings. It's so funny. So Casey and I know each other from high school, and I remember all those days in cheerleading where they're like, go run the mile. And we're like, oh, I don't want to run. Do you remember those days? Cool. Mental clarity, sanity, stress. It helps as you age to stay strong. Yeah, definitely. So the really big thing, fuck that mile. That's right. Do you remember it was like there and back to the railroad tracks? Yeah. So we do this to stay and build strength. Now, I don't know if you know this, but as we age, if you aren't doing any sort of exercise, if you are a sedentary individual, you are going to lose 3 to 5% of your muscle mass every decade that you age. And I always say that it is a privilege to age, so the alternative is worse. So if you are lucky enough to age, you need to take care of your physical body, because let's be real, as we age, our body gets older, we end up coming up with preventable diseases, you end up with lots of things that you could do prevention with your lifestyle. So that includes arthritis, it includes risk for cardiovascular disease. It's actually shown that 8 types of cancer can be prevented by physical activity. Yoga has helped me on many various levels. Yep. Your trainer at Emerge is wonderful. Yeah, I'm really looking into doing a registered yoga certification because I just want to further my yoga practice too. So yeah, so we exercise because it really does help us age gracefully, right? No matter your age, no matter if you're 20, no matter if you're 70, no matter if you're even our kids, like my kids' age, I have a 6-year-old, a 7-year-old and a 9-year-old. And they need to realize that moving your body is something that we need to do as a lifestyle, not just because mom says you should, okay? So we do this because we want to continue to age gracefully, but we also want to make sure that we're doing it properly in midlife. And that's something that isn't really talked about, and it's something that I would like you to consider the age that you are. So most of us are in midlife. There's probably no young kid out there watching this, but most of us in our 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. So I'm not going to lump us all in together because every part of our life is different. What's up, Miss Casey? Casey Warden, we got 2 Caseys on today. So we're going to talk about what it means to exercise in midlife and why do we need to do that? Because we want to maintain muscle mass on our bodies, not only so you can have preserving your muscle mass is entirely related to your longevity, but it is also related to your metabolic rate. And my mother-in-law is 70 as well, Lisa, and she's watching. Lisa, meet Sally. Sally, meet Lisa. And your metabolic rate has a lot to do with the things that you do. And a lot of people think that as soon as you hit midlife, your metabolism goes to shit, right? Have you thought that? I've heard it so many times. I turned 40 and then my metabolism just shut off. And that's not necessarily true. In fact, there was a study that was done in the Journal of Science. I think it was in 2021 or maybe 2022. And they studied almost 7,000 individuals all throughout the lifespan, and they measured their metabolic rate. And it turned out that your metabolism was really actually pretty stable between the years of 20 all the way up to about 70, which your metabolism stayed pretty stable. After you came into your 20s, your metabolic rate tends to decrease a little when you're coming out of adolescence and into your young 20s. But then once you reach middle age, it kind of stays steady until you're reaching 70, 80 into your later years. So a lot of women blame their metabolism, and unfortunately that doesn't seem to be the case. What goes into your metabolism? So I want to show you a couple of things on my whiteboard. So I'm just kind of zooming in on my whiteboard. How about I just move my camera? You guys can steal my workout. That was my workout I did this morning. But if you responded to my post on the Facebook page about my metabolism in midlife, this is going to be in this, but I wanted to cover this with you guys too. So we're going to talk about what happens, or what components are in your metabolism. So let's look at this. This is 100% of your metabolism. I hope you guys can see that. About 70% of it is your basal metabolic rate. That is just what it takes to maintain bodily functions. If you just laid on your couch all day, didn't move, didn't do anything, if you just sat there and breathed, 70% of your metabolic rate is due to basal metabolic rate. That's a big chunk of your metabolism. And then another 15% of that is what we call NEAT. No, not NEAT. Yes, NEAT. And your NEAT is non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So that means all this movement that I'm doing, standing up, moving, is called NEAT. Okay? 10% of your metabolism is called the thermo effect of food. So when you eat food, your digestive parts have to take energy to move the food from your esophagus down through your stomach, through your intestines, and out your system. So that is about 15% or 10% of your metabolic rate. The last little bit is your exercise activity thermogenesis. So what you do, planned exercise, is only 5%. So because it's only 5%, this is why I say exercise can support results, but exercise isn't going to elicit results on its own. Because it's only 5% of your metabolism, if you are looking to change your body shape, whether that's you want to gain lean muscle mass, or maybe if you want to lose fat, that starts with your diet. Always starts with your diet, okay? You cannot out-eat, you cannot out-train a really bad diet, okay? Because we know that only 5% of your metabolism is due to planned exercise. Because let's think about it. A lot of people in the way that we live today will maybe go to the gym for an hour, if that, and then they might sit for the rest of the day. They might have an office job, they might be sitting on a computer all day. And so for most intents and purposes, they are a sedentary person with that 1 hour of exercise, okay? So not that exercise doesn't help, because of course it does. And I'll explain to you why it helps and what it does and how you can mentally frame what exercise looks like in your life. But exercise isn't the end all be all only way to change your body. So again, that goes back to what you eat. That is, if you start to expand on the bigger parts, so more of NEAT, can you stand up more throughout your day? Can you park further away from the door of where you're going? What's up, Tracy? Can you stand at your desk? Can you walk at your desk? I have a standing desk. I have a treadmill under my standing desk because I couldn't stand sitting all day, okay? So that's my biggest focus for you today, is look at the rest of your day. If you're an active person, you're like, but Julie, I'm not seeing results, or hey, I wish I could do something differently. What else are you doing during your day? If you are hitting the gym, are you standing up more? Are you walking around more? If you have a sedentary job where you're sitting at a desk, can you stand up every 30 minutes, every hour to go walk to the bathroom, And if any of this is sounding like relatable, like put it in the comments. Like if you are that person that's sitting at a desk all day, what do you do to stand up and get more activity, okay? So that is why you can't just exercise to achieve a goal. You have to, if you're doing something with body composition, you absolutely have to have your diet in par too. But we're talking about exercise today. So we're talking about exercise in the way that exercise will support your weight loss goals or support your muscle building goals, because I always don't want to lump things into weight loss. I don't want you to assume that you have to lose weight. And I've said this before, you're perfect the way you are. You don't have to lose weight. But if you have that goal, that's great. That's what I'm here to support you with. But also remember that it has to be done in a way that's smart, in a way that's effective and sustainable. Because if you are on that weight loss journey, that the things that you have to do to lose weight are also the things that you're going to have to continue to do once you reach that place that you want to be. What's up, Jess? So remember that. When my job built a new building, we requested adjustable desks. That's awesome. And I think most employers are really starting to get the idea that employees should not be sitting down, because they say sitting is the new smoking. If you sit more, then you certainly are going to not take advantage of all of your opportunities to burn calories. Here comes my oldest daughter in a shower cap.
It's not a shower cap.
You want to say hi to Corinne? You want to say hi to all my lady friends?
No.
Corinne just got out of the shower. Okay, so we're talking about that. So when it comes to exercise, it certainly does support your results. So that means if you are on that weight loss journey, that your results are going to come from the exercise and the diet. Let's talk about what we should be doing in midlife. So in midlife, I've said this a lot of times, we should be focusing on strength training. Strength training is the thing that's going to maintain lean muscle mass, that's going to keep your basal metabolism at its peak, because at rest, if you have more muscle on your body, your metabolism is going to be more active, because muscle fibers are more metabolically active than fat cells. So that's the goal. We should be wanting to build muscle. And ladies, and I've heard this before, I don't want to get bulky, I don't want to look like a man. And I said this in my first video, you will not look like a man if you start lifting heavy weights. I've been lifting heavy weights for at least 4 or 5 years now, and I don't look like a man, right? Tried to make sure I intentionally walk more since COVID. I realized how much you sit. Yeah, we all do. We all do. And you're not alone. So that's awesome that you're intentionally looking at how much you sit, because if you're aware of it, then you'll start to make those changes of, yeah, I'm going to stand up more. And even just standing up more will do a lot. It will make you feel that much better from just sitting down all day. I know I've sat in conferences, like I had a conference in October, and it was a nutrition conference, and they had like standing desks on the perimeter of the room. And I was even actually kind of appalled that not many people took advantage of it. I was up within the first hour. I'm not going to go stand up. Anyway, so we want to build muscle to take advantage of this massive amount of your metabolic rate. 70% of your metabolism is this basal metabolic rate. So building muscle, keeping muscle, and also maintaining that muscle mass that you have. As women, we need to continue to build muscle mass to continue bone support and making sure that our bones stay strong. And that is from lifting weights, okay? Let me tell you why cardio is not your best option. Most people think, I'm gonna lose weight, I am gonna go run, I'm gonna go walk, I'm gonna focus on cardio. Don't get me wrong, it is definitely important. The CDC recommends that you should get 150 minutes of cardiovascular training a week. What's up, Jackie? 150 minutes a week. So that boils down to about 30 minutes a day of some sort of moderate style exercise. Now we're talking cardio here. Think about your own lifestyle. Are you meeting that? Just that aerobic type of training. On top of it, they say you're supposed to do at least 2 days of strength training, and then at least 3 days of something that you're going to challenge yourself with, like balance and flexibility. 3 days. As a fitness professional, I barely meet that. I do enough strength training. I don't necessarily meet the 150 minutes of moderate activity for cardiovascular reasons. So those recommendations are definitely not easy to meet, but they are if you are intentional. What's up, Roberta? So the reason why we shouldn't be focusing on cardio as women in their midlife is because what happens when you get sustained cardiovascular bouts, we're talking like hours or more. So that hour mark tends to be where your cortisol levels start to go up. What's up, Sherry? Your cortisol levels start to go up, okay? Cortisol is a stress hormone, and that stress hormone is very catabolic. So it is going to start to break down things because it's your body's signal to say, uh-oh, shit's going down. We have to prepare for a fight, or we have to prepare to run. Okay? What's up, Peg? So that stress hormone, if it's chronically elevated in your body, it leads to really bad things that you don't necessarily want. Leads to muscle wasting, leads to lots of different things that are adversely affected in your body. That being said, when we strength train, the opposite happens. So the opposite happens, meaning our cortisol levels don't necessarily spike, but when we strength train, our growth hormone tends to go up. And growth hormone is not necessarily about growing taller, because as adults, we aren't going to grow taller, but growth hormone is all about growing muscle fibers, growing new tissue, stuff that you need to aid in a healthier lifestyle. I don't want to talk science with you guys, but I also want to give you a reason why these recommendations are there for women in midlife, because if you hear you should do something and you don't want to, oftentimes you're not going to want to. But if you hear the reasonings behind it, more often you might say, oh, okay, that makes more sense. Okay, so that's why I'm giving you some more of the the whys behind it. Any tips for lifting heavier while strength training and having bad knees? Of course, Casey, I have options for you. We will talk about that for sure. But when it comes to strength training, the biggest thing I see with working with women is a lack of knowledge when it comes to how much we should be lifting and how much, keep talking nerdy to us, I will. And now we're gonna get into lots of different things when it comes to strength training. So strength training is so important because, like I said, muscle fibers are the things that keep you metabolically active. Muscle fibers are the things that are positively promoted with healthy lifestyle and prevention of disease, okay? So when it comes to strength training, how often should you do it? How hard should you do it? It's a lot of ifs, ands, and buts, and what should you do? It's always very uncertain, but there's one thing that is really true is that anything is better than nothing. So if you're starting with little weights and just doing bicep curls or just doing overhead presses with what you have, that's better than nothing, okay? If you're more experienced in the gym world, of course, then you can start to think about how much should you be overloading, the process of progressive overload to train the muscles as strongly as you can, because the biggest mistake I tend to see is when women say they need to strength train, they pick up these little weights and go, is that it? Is that what I need to do? Talk to Sandy. What's up, Sandy? Sandy trains in here with me every three days a week. And this girl's a beast. This girl just bench pressed over 100 pounds today. So good up for her. And that's the thing. That's what we got to do. We got to push ourselves. So we have to push ourselves to the point where every end of a set, so sets are every groups of reps that you're going to do. That's right, Sandy, be proud of yourself. Yeah. At the end of every set, those reps should be really difficult to hit. It should be hard. You should be struggling. You should be like screaming. Maybe not screaming. You should be grunting. You should be really working hard. And that's the kind of stimulus that your muscle needs, okay? Your muscle needs that kind of stimulus to make sure that you're going to get the benefits of strength training, all right? Drop your questions. So Casey had a question about strength training when it comes to bad knees. And of course, I'm learning a lot when it comes to bad knees because I've got a couple of clients that certainly do have those issues. But it's those things of finding the range of motion that works for you without pain. If I've learned anything the last few years with personal training, you should not push through somebody through pain. And so if you are going through an exercise and it's painful, don't do it. So if you can't do squats without pain in your knees, don't do it. Until the squats don't hurt you anymore. And then there's something that we need to focus on in terms of where the weakness is about knee pain. And we're working through it with some of my clients for sure. But when it comes to strength training, that's my biggest tip for you today is ensure that you are making it a priority. So if you're limited on time when it comes to strength training or any sort of exercise, you should likely stick with strength training first. Make that your priority. Get in 3 days a week of some kind of strength training. That might look like you might do a leg day. You might work the big muscles in your legs for one day. The next day you might lift the muscles of the front of your body, front of your upper body. So you might do some chest presses, you might do some triceps, you might do some shoulders. And then the next day you might do the back of the body. So you might do some pulls, you might do some rows, you might do lots of different things to work the posterior chain. Now, of course, there's lots of other ways you can split up your routine. And if you have any sort of more specific questions for yourself, feel free to reach out to me via DM because these are the things that I offer. These are the things that I work with my clients with, for sure. What's up, Ann? Nice to see you. What other questions do you have about strength training? Because I know strength training can be a little daunting. Before I got into the weight room, like I would just walk from the entrance of the gym to the group fitness studio and just kind of watched all the people doing bicep curls and bench presses and squats, and I would never do it. It was too scary. I didn't know what I was doing, right? Anybody else feel that way? You're like, I'd love to strength train. I'd love to go into that weight room, but it scares the shit out of me. Anybody else feel like that? Put yes in the comments if you do. And it's totally fine if you do. Yeah, because a lot of people are intimidated by it. The thing is, you don't have to be intimidated by it because the more knowledge you have and the more confidence you have, you walk into the weight room, walk in like you own it because you have every right to be there too. Every right to be there, just like everybody else that has a membership to a gym, just like everybody else. Look at you guys. Scaredy cat, scaredy cat. Too awkward. Why is it too awkward? You have a phone in your hand that you could easily just kind of Google, what should I do? What should I do? There are so many videos out there. Google something and then do it and then act like you know what you're doing. And eventually you'll know what you're doing. Here's what I did though. So what I did is when I wanted to work out in the weight room and didn't know what I was doing, I joined a personal trainer that was doing a challenge, and he did a 90-day challenge, and he gave me my workouts, and he was there via text or group chat, and I could ask any questions with the group. And I kind of got over my fears of the weight room because he was there virtually, and he would give me tips and he'd give me feedback on my form. And then eventually I progressed to hiring another trainer. And then eventually I ended up becoming a personal trainer. So it was kind of like this whole evolution of myself working out in the weight room. And I'm really curious because you all are a captive audience, and I'm really considering doing a similar style challenge. So if that's something that you might be interested in, put that in the comments. I'm thinking of doing a similar 90-day challenge. Now, it wouldn't be free. I'd charge you something, maybe a little bit. And it would be access to workouts that I would provide for you that would get you into the weight room and find ways to give yourself confidence that you can do this in the weight room just like everybody else. And if you're certainly interested in that, put it in the comments and then we'll make it happen. I think it sounds like a great idea. So that's about strength training. Let's see, what else? What other comments do you have about strength training? What other questions do you have? I know a lot of people have popped in and out. So if you've just joined us, we're talking again about strength training and why it's important. It is so important as we age to be strength training. And if you're not, you need to be. And I said this on my other live, I think it was the one about calorie deficits. I'm going to catch a lot of shit, but body pump is not enough. Unfortunately, body pump is good, but if you've been doing it for years and years and years and your body has stayed the same, there's your answer. If you haven't seen a lot of changes, nor if you have noticed you're not stronger, there is a reason for that. Interested in that? Yeah, cool. Yeah, let's do it, girls. Let's do it. I'll put something together. Look out for that. The other thing I wanted to talk about, so is we're still kind of talking about exercise and how it supports results. Cool, Jess. Awesome. There's other ways that you can get that cardio burst, because don't get me wrong, you still should be doing cardio. You should not be that person that is just doing weightlifting. You should be doing active days during your day, taking advantage of your neat metabolism, but also doing some kind of cardio. HIIT training is another great way to support your results. HIIT training is high intensity interval training, and that means short, hard bouts of very difficult physicality. So my spin classes are all designed around HIIT style training. So if some of you take my spin classes, but also so it is short bouts of quick hard work and then recovery. That has been scientifically proven to change body composition better than any sort of aerobic style training at low intensity. So cool. So if you're not doing HIIT style training, consider that to be another option that would be a great thing to incorporate. If I had to give you a hierarchy of designing an ideal program, so what an ideal program would look like for women in this age, 3 days of strength training at least, some sort of lower intensity walking, so 30 minutes of walking if you can get it in. What's up, Kylie? As well as 1 or 2 days of HIIT style training. And that sounds like a lot. And they don't have to be done on all different days. Like, you definitely do want to have one rest day where you don't do really any planned exercise. Yoga would be great. Flexibility would be great. But you have 6 days to work with. So that's 3 days of strength training, 2 days of something HIIT, and then during your day, try to find some amount of walking. So that might mean taking 30 minutes to walk your dog. That might mean to just get up as much as you can and move. That might mean, I don't know, do Just Dance with your kids on your Switch. One of my clients does that. She's like, Julie, I don't have time to walk on my treadmill. I'm just going to do Just Dance with my kids. I say, cool, let's do it. Yeah, awesome. So we've been talking for 30 minutes. I'm bad about a rest day. I feel terrible and don't want to don't do something. I feel terrible if you don't do something. Yeah, okay, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about like that guilt feeling if you don't work out. I'm guilty of that. So there are times where even if I'm injured and I'm not able to work out, I get kind of antsy. I get kind of grumpy. I get kind of pissed off at myself. Do you feel that way? Say yes in the comments or give me a like. Because we feel empowered, right? You all said it in the beginning. You feel empowered. You feel relieved. You get stress relief. It's not an addiction, but those feelings that you get after you do that thing that makes you feel really good is what you're missing when you don't get to do it, right? So you guys are all agreeing. We all get that. We all get that. And it's not a bad thing, but also remember that the rest is just important because we grow, we rebuild, we consistently build into a stronger, more effective, more efficient human being when we rest. It's not always go, 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 go. If you're that person that doesn't know when the last time you took a rest day was, your results would kind of look like, you might be like, oh yeah, I'm going to start to get results. And then you start to taper down and start to lose results because you get a decrease on your return of your investment. Have you heard of 75 Hard? First Forms Challenge, where you do 75 days of 2 workouts a day, no rest days, you drink a gallon of water, you read 10 pages of a book. All of this challenge, I think it's crap. It's crap because you absolutely need one day where you're not going to have any sort of challenging physical whatever. I have a friend who's doing 100 hard. Like she's doing 100 days of that, which great. Okay. It's challenging. At the same time, you're disrespecting your body. Like I can't imagine how these people feel after 75 days of not resting. Like, and if you've done it, hands up. If you've done it and you were like, yeah, Julie, I loved it. I had a great experience. Cool. Good for you. The problem is I had a friend who did it. She did 75 hard and she took a picture every day. She posted it on Facebook. I'm like, that's great, Kim. I probably shouldn't have said her name. But it was so restrictive that when she finished it, she swung the pendulum the other way. And then all of those habits of not drinking and eating a healthy diet, all of those things went back to the other side. And she didn't maintain her successful results. So that's my own professional opinion about 75 hard. You definitely do need to have a rest day. But I can understand where you're coming from when you feel a little antsy, you feel a little grumpy, because fitness is stress relief. Fitness is endorphins. Like, you know that line from Legally Blonde. Was it Legally Blonde? You just don't kill happy people just don't kill their husbands. Because that woman was a fitness instructor. Yeah. Okay, so we talked about why we should be doing strength training. Put it in the comments as you're watching this. Put it in the comments about what you're going to commit to change your strength training routine. If you're not doing it already, tell me, Julie, I'm going to try it. If you're not doing it already and you want some help, send me a message. We can certainly chat about it because I work with lots of my clients virtually, and don't think just because you're not in the same state as me or in the same town as me, we can still help you. We can still definitely get you started on something. And I am going to put together this 90-day challenge where it will get you confident in the weight room. This sounds really exciting. Like maybe be like the badass, take on the weight room like the badass you are or something. Maybe I'll call it that. I don't know. Yeah. All right. So any other questions, any other comments, let me know. I'm going to hang out here for a couple more minutes. That's pretty much all I wanted to cover. Let me know if there's any other topics that you guys want me to cover. I started with these first 4. I have one more that I still want to kind of chat with you about next week. But then I'm open to all these ideas for you to help you, kind of clear up fitness misinformation, nutrition misinformation. Like there's so much crap out there that it infuriates me when I see things on social media and I see people, touting lots of crap that is truly just crap. And I look at their follower counts and I'm like, son of a bitch. Like, gosh, how is millions of people following you when you aren't even like telling them the truth? But that's why I got into this. So that's why I'm certainly putting myself out there for you guys, because it is truly what I love to do. And this is so fun to get on here and talk to my camera, but then also know that you all are watching, because I see lots of great comments. So other than that, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your evening. Hit me up if you have any questions. Be on the lookout for a 90-day challenge. So let me know if there's anything else that you want from me. And cool. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys. Casey wants some help. All right, Casey, I'll message you, girl. Bye, guys.